So from the cradle to the grave, women were the first ones to witness and share the good news of Jesus. The women at Philippi that you heard about this week were not just the first converts, but they were crucial and indispensable to the early church in Philippi. Did you know that? They weren't just converts, but they were crucial and indispensable. Now, as part of the European team, I run a network called Passion for Evangelism, and we're simply raising up female evangelists across Europe. For many women, standing on a stage like this, presenting themselves, seeking out opportunities, just far, far harder than men. So many people have said this week, it's great there are more women around at Foyer this year compared to other years. But all of us need to think about raising up female evangelists. Why is that? Well, firstly, it's biblical. If you want to come and hear more, I'm doing a seminar later on this afternoon. But also, secular women are really suspicious of the church. They hear church leaders arguing about women's roles. They see an institutional church which is guilty of abuse. And they suspect that the Bible is oppressive and misogynist and has this view of women. Into that, in our missions, if we only ever have white men sharing the gospel, what does that say about the gospel? At the very heart of the gospel itself is a diverse group of people brought together by Jesus Christ. Men and women, those from ethnic minorities, those from countries and nations across the world. And so as you think back to your missions over the last year, 5 years, who have you had speaking? Who have you had sharing testimony? Who have you had giving videos? But not only that, the majority of students on campus are women. Some female students would prefer to hear the gospel spoken by women. For example, women from Muslim-majority countries. If you don't have trained and equipped and enthusiastic female evangelists, how will these women hear? But also, I can't believe it, amongst male students too, for the first time ever, I've heard them saying, I'm not coming to an events week unless there are women speaking and people from ethnic minorities speaking too. I don't just want to hear from a certain group of people. And so my heart in Passion for Evangelism is that men and women proclaim the gospel together. I'm not this raging liberal feminist that some people love to call me. I'm just simply looking at what the Bible says, that men and women stand together hand in hand and show the world what brotherly, sisterly relationship looks like. And that can only happen if we do missions together. So in Passion for Evangelism, we run a termly book club. We want women to grow in their faith, in their character, in their skills. We do this online. We have women currently across the world discussing Pete Dre and Matt Lillycrap's new book on stories. We also have a greenhouse mentoring scheme that works for 5 weeks at a time, and we have hubs across the UK and Europe happening right now, also online, so we can have women from New Zealand and Australia. And in case you don't believe me, the wonderful Katerina from North Macedonia is just going to share really briefly what PFE has meant to her. If you want to find us, we're on all the social media channels, PFE Women. What I'd love you to do is to invite other women to follow us and get involved. So Katerina, just share briefly, what has PFE meant to you?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Nay. I just want to say how much Passion for Evangelism meant for me, and how much I appreciate what Nay is doing. So Passion for Evangelism, I see it as a place that gives you, and a platform that gives somehow wings to the woman, a place where you are safe and where you can share what you have to say, because in some contexts you're not invited, you're not allowed because you're a woman and you're maybe seen as unserious or not good enough to give a talk or something like that. So Passion for Evangelism gave me a platform where I can say what I have and give receive a feedback, a constructive feedback from women. And also, the book club is also meant a world for me, because we were reading books which are reconsidering the position of the woman from a biblical perspective. And that is especially important for context where woman is seen as somebody who is not to lead or somebody who is not to speak. So thank you very much, Nay, for everything that you're doing.